Hey, hello. Okay, we're going to try this again. We're going to try this again. I'm having the worst time with Facebook lately with these lives, I'll tell you that. But anyway, here's my transmission. So funny, this producer feature is giving me a little bit of a run for my money, but I ended up dismissing it because I couldn't get a good live stream connection. And then when I went live, it went live on my personal Facebook page. So I was like, oh, and I realized after friends from local friends and friends from high school started jumping on. So I was like, okay, I am not in the right place here. Oh, but Lily's here now. So that's, hi, Lily again. You're in the right place now. So in case you don't know who I am, my name is Lisa Marie Grantham, and I am the founder of GoddessLifestylePlan.com, where I teach women how to magically create an abundant life and business they love. And it is my life's work. It's something that brings me joy, but I noticed something that had been going on with me lately. When I say lately, in the last couple of like 10 days or so. And because I have an online business, pretty much for me, it's been business as usual. Thank goodness from home. And because that's how I work virtually. I coach women from all around the globe on business and life, business and or life actually. And I also have groups. I have monthly coaching groups where I teach women how to journey around the wheel of the year and connect it to nature and find the magic in the mundane. And then I have a really great business group. Oh, so feeling you on this. There it is, Joanna. Oh, I'm happy you're here and I'm happy you're affirming. So I've been talking with my private clients and my groups, and I've been saying, is anybody else feeling like really undermotivated? And I want to just say that if you know me, you know that is so not me. I jump out of bed, I get going immediately, I'm on task, I'm doing. I'm a go, go, go person when it comes especially to business and work, my work, because I love it so much and I love what I do. And I'm very, very disciplined. And I should say I grew those discipline muscles being an entrepreneur and working from home. Self-accountability is essential to be successful as an entrepreneur and somebody who works from home. You need to be accountable to yourself, not to a boss, but to yourself. You have things you got to get done, and you have programs you need to create and offerings, and you have to deliver them. So I woke up and I was like, I was kind of getting a slow start this morning, and it's my if Wednesday is my bust ass day. I talk about that all the time. My bust ass day is Wednesday. I do a Facebook Live for my page, and it goes up on YouTube after this, and then I coach my Business Magic Weekly group. Yes, so Lily says, yes, but this virus has changed everything. So I wanted to talk into that. That's true. So I just have a different feeling right now, and I want to speak into the magic or the energetics of it because this is Aries. We're in Aries season right now. Being laid back and not go, go, go is completely opposite. Like Aries, this whole thing has turned the world or the energy on its head, so to speak. And I'm like, oh my goodness, well, this is Aries season. If I'm not going now, when the heck am I going to go, right? Anybody who follows astrology really knows this, but what it is what it is. And this morning I was like, really in a funk, and I was like, I don't feel like doing anything today. I don't feel like putting on makeup today. I don't feel like doing a Facebook Live today because I have nothing to say. And, because Shannon and I literally are, well, now everybody is kind of quarantined together, self-isolating, but Shannon and I, since the day we met, have been together night and day, night and day. So I said to him, I'm like, you know what? I just want to get back in bed and pull the covers over my head. And he gave me a big hug and he says, you know what? I think you should do that. And he goes, and in about an hour or like in 2 minutes, you'll get back up and you'll feel much better, because he knows me, because it's unlike me to just rest too much. I've got things to do, whether it's around the house or, I'm usually doing everything. I'm a bit of a multitasker, so I tend to, run the laundry while I'm writing something or this or that. And it's the mundane stuff, I don't diffuse my focus when I'm doing my work, but I will do the mundane kind of tasks around the house just to keep things always moving. So he made me laugh when he said, most likely it'll be 2 minutes and you'll get back up. I'm like, you're so right. And he goes, but do it. Do it if you want to like lay down. And I said, eh. And I sat a minute and I said, all right, what's really going on here, Lisa, is what I said. I ask myself all the time. I'm like, Lisa, what's going on here? And what I discovered is that I felt guilty that I wasn't exactly, Lily, I can't rest. I just can't sit. Me either. Me either. And it's not a good thing. That is the point of it. I said, what is going on here? That I don't give myself permission to just like, just be in a funk, right? Because I believe that we are culturally, and especially, you know, what we're hearing online with spirituality really coming into the mainstream. It's about be grateful, be grateful. And sometimes I'm in a funk and it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not grateful, right? It's just the fact that I'm in a funk and I'm in avoidance and I don't feel like working and I don't feel like doing nothing. But what do, right? You have stuff that has to get done. So I said, what's really going on? And I realized it's the fact that Shannon's home all the time now. It's not like he's going in and out. That's a bit disruptive to me. So I have to create some strategies around that. But also I realized I really need to shift my focus. And I wanted to share this with you because sometimes when we try to focus on something and push ourselves through it, like that's solution one. Push yourself through the funk. Very masculine aligned. Effective, probably, right? When we push ourselves through things, it is effective, but what is the vibration we're bringing to whatever it is we're creating? And for me, because I work in these more esoteric spiritual realms, I'm very careful about the energy I bring to things. So let's just say that I was answering emails. What kind of energy am I bringing to that email? What kind of energy am I bringing to the blog post creation? So pushing through, you need to have discernment around it. Sometimes you just got to call yourself out on your avoidance or the choice of being lazy, because really laziness is a choice. You choose to be lazy, and sometimes I choose to be lazy. And I give permission to everybody in my life to choose to be lazy sometimes. So the pushing through is option one. You really need to use discernment around it. As a woman, like pushing really burns you out. And you also want to mind the energy you bring to it. This is the solution that I go to, and I think it's a winning solution, and that is do something creative. So for years and years and years, I know I'm a creative person. I'm obviously a creative person. I create courses and programs and handouts and all workbooks from nothing. But for some reason, I think that a lot of people consider creativity to be art, painting, and I probably paint pretty good, but I'm very critical of painting. And as a matter of fact, we talked about it one month. It was the monthly topic for the Goddess Lifestyle Sisterhood, my monthly coaching program. And really, painting is a sacred practice. That's what we discovered. Artist Sofia de Balsa came and did the workshop with me. We talked about it. And she really looks at art as a sacred practice, and I really look at it very differently now. But point is, I don't really whip out an easel and paint. But I said, what kind of creativity can I bring to this day to get my mind off of the fact that, you know, I'm just in a funk. That's just it. I acknowledged it. I said, okay, this is where we're at. Now, how can I, you know, move through it? So my creativity comes out in the kitchen. It comes out in the garden. It comes out in interior design. It comes out in the way that I dress myself and the things that I express myself. That's my creativity. So I said, let me bake something today. I was in the mood to bake, of all things, Joanna Gaines' new zucchini bread recipe. And I happened to have watched a show about, I guess, last weekend or something, her cooking in the kitchen, and she went through the recipes, and the zucchini bread recipe kind of really caught my attention. So I said, I want to make that, and I bought zucchini. And I said, I'm going to make the zucchini bread this morning. So I just completely gave myself permission not to come to work, you know, until later in the day. And I just said, all right, I'm not going to do stuff right now. I'm going to bake. And I baked this bread, and while the bread was baking, I got in the shower, and then I put on my makeup, and when the bread was done baking, it smelled amazing, by the way. And I was like, oh, I'm out of my funk. So just taking a minute to stop really focusing on the fact I'm in a funk, I'm in a funk, I'm in a funk, and say I'm doing something completely different gives you that space to move out of the funk. There's a couple of other things I like to do. For example, I really love to listen to music, but I don't think a funk is the same thing as a low vibe. So if I'm in a low vibe, something's pissed me off or something really is like, ah, you know what? I'm just ill, like I'm just raggy today. I'll just listen to music. I'll listen to my favorite playlist and I'll just kind of raise my vibration that way. I think that's really important. Another way to raise your vibration is to watch some funny videos on YouTube. That's a great way. For me as well, just laughing. Laughing raises your vibration. But a funk is something different. I've been in a little bit of a funk and I was like, I don't want to be in this funk. So there's resistance there to even being in the funk. And the more I like thought about it, the more funky I got about being in the funk. So I was, you see what I'm saying, right? So you want to just kind of give it some healthy space. Healthy space is the best thing you can give yourself when you're not feeling it 100%, just a little healthy space. And what I have found is doing the mundane stuff is how I get out of a funk. It shuts off. Does it shut off my brain? Is that the right thing to say? It makes me focus on something else and stop focusing on the fact that I have all this other shit I need to be doing. So that is what shuts off in my brain. It's all the to-dos, the to-do list quiets, and then I'm focusing on like, yes, I'm baking this bread. And by the way, the bread tastes amazing for zucchini bread. You wouldn't think so. I'm really excited because Shannon, if you know us, Shannon is not a fruit and veggie person, and I'm always trying to figure out sneaky ways to get more veggies in him. So he ate it and he said it was really delicious. So I'm really happy about that. So he'll eat that. Meanwhile, it has sugar and flour in it, which is something I don't like to eat, but whatever. We're not gonna mince words here about things. We're just gonna be happy for the win. Happy for the win that Shannon eats some zucchini without popping it out of his mouth. So that's what I did today. And then while I was baking this, bikini bread, zucchini bread, I thought, well, I think really talking about how to get out of a funk is a great topic for today. So not only did I get out of the funk, I also figured out something I really felt would be beneficial to speak to you about today. Because being home day after day, let's just face it, my life has not changed much as far as the day to day in and out of it. But I'm sure many of you, your entire life has gone, upside down. Like you're doing a completely different day than you were doing before the pandemic became so much into each of our lives, right? So for that, I think there is a little underlying funk that might happen. You're like, I don't even know. I mean, there might be some of you sitting home watching Netflix all day being like, this is the best thing that ever happened. I don't know, maybe. And if that's you, that's awesome. But I imagine that there's many that feel uncertain, that feel nervous, that feel hopeless, maybe even that what is going to happen, what's going to be with everything. So the best thing to do is to just allow yourself to just be where you're at and do something creative. I love creativity, and there's so many ways to express yourself creatively. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I know Joanna said that she was really feeling this, and she's making marinade right now, which is awesome. I love it. What kind of marinade? Now I want to know. Because food is like everything. I love the baking and cooking, so I'm all about the food. And just go gentle with yourself. I think a lot of times, women that follow my work especially, it's like we want to be in that flowing space. We want to be in that place of spiritual connection and really, really working on our personal growth, our spiritual growth, really moving into being the best version of who we can be. And for that to be so, I know that discernment is such an important part of our decision-making processes. Like, am I giving myself permission to just be today? Am I giving myself permission to just take the day off or be lazy? Or do I really need to get this done and maybe I just need to add a little fire, get going a little bit? So just take an hour or two to do something creative, and then you might feel very, very differently. And just kind of check in while after you're done. Be like, how am I feeling right now? Once I was done and I gave myself the permission in the space, I felt ready. I felt ready. But if I would have pushed myself from this morning, I would have come to my day with a very different energy. So really, really mind the energy you bring to each and everything you do. Bring the highest vibration. So sometimes that means you need to take a few minutes or an hour or two for yourself to just get into that place of high vibration where you can really show up and serve, whether it's your family, your community, your global community, whatever it is for you. Just be really mindful of the energy you bring to each and everything you do. And that has been a winning strategy for me. I stopped saying yes to things I wanted to say no to years ago. It's one of the steps of my signature processes. So many women say yes when they're inside, their head is screaming no. That's something that needs to stop. Like, we have to stop doing things that really, really go against everything that's within us, saying, I don't want to do that, and go, yes. Really think about you, really think about the people that you're really gypping, because you're bringing less of who you are, really. You're bringing more low vibrational you to the situation. And just really be okay. And one of my mentors used to say, let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. So this morning I had a big old no. I was like, I am totally not doing this day. I'm getting back in bed and I'm putting the cover over my head. And then Shannon gave me the permission. He says, I think you should do that. And I think you should just totally give it, because he knows me. I'm always going, always going. There's a book called Boundaries, and it is amazing. Lily, I am the boundary queen, but I love a good book about boundaries too, I'll tell you that. And boundaries are most important. So what creative outlet do you have? And if not, can you dust something off a little bit? This is a time where things, like I said, are not as per normal, what everybody's day looks like. So take a look. Maybe you've got a little art set somewhere, or maybe you can get outside and just walk in nature. Maybe you can, take a long walk with earbuds in, maybe listen to a podcast, maybe garden, do a DIY project. I know Lily does a lot of those. So maybe that gets your mind off of stuff. Just pivot your focus, and you will see that you will come out of the funk. Don't fight it. Be with it, right? We don't like to be with things that don't feel good. It's a human trait. We don't want to be in the place of discomfort. So when you're in a funk, it's uncomfortable. So don't check out. Be with it. Be with the funk. See what the funk is telling you. For me, it was like, I don't feel like doing nothing today. I don't know. And then I gave myself the space. And then lo and behold, my makeup is on, and here I am. And I've got, it's my bust-ass day. I'm going to go till probably 8:30 tonight. No problem. But I feel really good about it, as opposed to nose to grindstone stuff. So I guess also talking it through, I'm hearing myself say, it's very feminine to flow. So be with what is and flow with what is, and then honor it. But definitely get that creativity going. We all have our own special magic, the things that we do, the way we do them, and you need to start, if you haven't already, exploring that and just being in that creative space, because it is like a sacred practice. For me today, baking was a sacred practice. I was quiet and I did everything really. There was no rush to it. I wasn't like trying to whip it together. I was just like being with the baking. I was being with the baking. And now I'm being with you. And as soon as we complete, I'm going to go on to my next task, and I'm going to be with that task. So take it one step at a time, my loves, and just be. Flow, right? Right now we need to flow with everything that's coming our way. And, you'll hear my students and the people that I work with know I say, just try to ride the top of the wave as best as you can. And just one day, let the day be what it is. And then tomorrow's another day. And there's something that since I've heard it, I've kept in my mind all the time. It's a great saying. I'm going to paraphrase, because I don't know if it's an actual, quote, but I will say this, that the day before a miracle seems like a very, very average day, right? So sometimes miracles are waiting right around the corner. And we just have to know that the day before a miracle hits our life seems like a regular, ordinary day. So make every day count. Make every minute count. And be with what you're doing. And be with what you're feeling. It's all okay. All right? So I hope that helped. A little musings, my musings about being in a funk. And listen, my loves, if you're in the mood to do something, I have a bunch of free resources. I put the link in the description so you can find it. I've got a page full of swag. There's checklists there. There's workbooks there. There's creating sacred space how-tos. There's new moon magic. Who doesn't want a new moon in New Moon in Taurus is coming up in the next little bit, right? In the next 2 weeks, it's definitely going to be here. Well, New Moon Magic is all about new beginnings. New Moon is when we call in what we desire, call in what our intentions are for the upcoming lunar cycle. My goodness, go download it if you don't have it already. Go take advantage, download one, download it all, and work your way through my stuff, okay? It's free, and I created it with you in mind, all right? So I'll see you next week, and maybe even before, who knows. And I'll be creating a blog post about that zucchini bread. And if you want, I'll make sure you go check it out because it's really good. It's from Joanna Gaines' second cookbook, Magnolia cookbook that just came out. And it's super yummy. So if you want to get those veggies in your littles or in your people that you live with like me, you might want to check it out because I think it's deceptively good. There's some good stuff in there, but there's also some not so good stuff, a lot of sugar. But there's sugar substitutes for that. Let me not go off on a tangent with that, but be well and be safe, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.